I'm talking about
Welcome.
the industry, right? Because I believe that if you that selling albums don't matter, right? And I'm only
Selling albums don't matter?
yeah, I'm only bringing this up because I seen like academics posted today something about this album doing 28,000, right? In the era that I came in the music industry, if you sold 28,000 copies, you didn't get no other chance to get walk in the building again.
You were fired. What do you to help turn that trend around with hip hop music?
People got to stop lying. I think that's the beginning of the end.
It's too much lies.
It's too much lying. And I'm not talking about just like people. I'm talking about the industry, right? Because the industry still tries to make you believe that, if you are a hot artist and you got a single, that selling albums don't matter. I'm only
Selling albums don't matter?
Yeah, I'm only bringing this up because I seen like academics posted today something about Sexy Red album only.
What's up, ladies? Are you guys on the screen? Are you on the set?
All right. So can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. So again, we have the topic of sexuality in hip hop on the Uncensored Truth podcast. So just listening to what Jermaine Dupree was saying and academics, I think there's a lot that's going on right now in hip hop in regards to females in general. Me personally, there's a lot of that where people are telling half truths, people who are not being authentic with storytelling. It's not as what it used to be back in the 80s, early 90s, maybe early 2000s, where people were actually talking about, things that were relevant, to their childhood. The the industry now are people that are being made up. And back then you had several people that were being made up because of the image or because of the way that they looked. I think that hip hop has made a turn, I think, for the worse, because now it's like it's playing out where nobody's really authentic, everybody's the same.
So the question is, how did it get to this point? Because like you said, back in the 80s and the 90s, we started out with when the female rappers came out. For example, you had like Queen Latifah. She was never hypersexual. They never hypersexualized her. Queen Latifah, MC Light. We had who else we had? You can go to the West Coast. Yo-Yo wasn't like that. Da Brat wasn't like that. Eve wasn't like that. Even the R&B artists, they were not hypersexualized. But all of a sudden, when Little Kim came out, she was the first female rapper that truly was hypersexualized. At first, she was her dress was more, she was really naturally pretty. All of those girls was naturally pretty, but all of a sudden, the industry I guess it just changed. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know. And that's what I was trying to, that's what the topic, hypersexuality and hip hop, I'm trying to figure out, when did it change and what's going on? Is there a hidden agenda, or how did this happen?
You know what? Like I can remember I can remember there was an interview that MC Light did like years ago. And she was talking about how, when she first came out, she was like the tomboy, she dressed tomboyish. And as everything was changing, she wanted to be sexy too. And mind you, the things that MC Light was talking about, she was talking about realistic things from a female perspective, that where, like, a lot of the females looked up to her as a role model. But when she was trying to change with the fad, like when everybody else was doing the sexy thing, her A&R like told her, like, no, you go back to who you are. You be who you are. Don't change with what's going on in the industry, because that's not you. That's not who you are. And I think that this changed probably in the early 90s, when you had it with Salt and Pepper, but Salt and Pepper were very selective with some of the things they were doing. They were sexy, but they weren't talking about explicit lyrics about sucking dick and shit and fucking, okay? They were literally talking about being, respect yourself as a female. If you're gonna be a hoe, you're gonna be a hoe, but respect yourself. Have respect for yourself. And then also protect yourself, because AIDS was getting rampant at that time too. So they were spreading a message. Same thing with TLC. TLC can go in hip hop and they can also be in R&B, but TLC also were true to where they were authentic, and they were also talking, spreading a message of respecting yourself. I think it changed in the early 90s, when here it is, you have Lil Kim that come on the scene now and talking about a whole nother different thing, and it's more sexual. So people are gravitating to that now, because this is something new. And I think the labels at that time, when it came to females and the image that sex sells, Two Live Crew was the prime example of how sex really sells. So exploiting women of that nature caught on and caught fire, and ever since then it has grown to where women are now changing their bodies. They're not even acceptable to who they are. And Cardi B said the same thing. It's like, even being in the strip club, you get more money by having bigger breasts. You get more money by having a fat ass. So with that being said, these girls were taking those things and changing exactly who they were, and it's trickled down into the industry, where now these girls are feeling like, hey, I can't make $1 million if I don't have a big ass or shaking my ass on stage.
Yeah, that I do believe that, because I think that's what happened with Little Kim. I think she probably was, because when she first came out, like I said, she was her natural self, like the picture that we have on up here on the screen. She was really beautiful just as she was. And then all of a sudden she just changed, morphed into something totally different. And I believe it became, it's like you said, it happened when they started going to the strip clubs. Those strippers, they bought the strippers in, and they was out hanging out with the strippers, and the guys was liking the strippers, so now everybody wanted the stripper body. But
White.
how did that, I mean, who put that into the hip hop situation? Because it wasn't like that. Now you've deflected from the art. Now you're looking at the sexuality. It's becoming hypersexual, as opposed to looking at the true artists of what they're really saying. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I definitely agree with that. I think mostly, I think it had a lot to do with the labels. I think the labels wanted something new, something fresh, to generate dollars. And to generate dollars, what's the next best thing to generate money is going into the sex industry, going into that field, tapping into that field, because that generates so much money when you have females that are talking, that have explicit lyrics, they have half clothes on, they're half naked, they're on stage doing these same things, and you got women and men that are cheering this shit on. Like, this has become like the all-time high, to where you have now R&B artists, now Fantasia coming on stage now with chaps on. Now you have Lil Mo, who is now, half naked on stage, when she was fully clothed years ago.
Yes.
You
and
see what
can
I'm saying?
sing. I mean, and she was
Yeah.
like these. That's what I'm saying. So it's like it's you really want to truly portray your art, or you want to display your art, but now you got to go into this whole sexual thing. Like, what's that? You know what I mean? Like you can't even sell your. It's almost like you're competing with sexuality for some reason. I don't understand. I don't know if it's just the men in the industry that's making that happen. Like you said, they're just like Fantasia. But see, Fantasia can come on there and be fully dressed and be still feminine and not over sexual. And she can sing and she can sell. But I don't know if she's selling like she was if she was just half naked. Is that what you're saying? I'm not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like her concerts always do well because people like to come and see her show. But she's starting to transform into a whole nother tap into a whole nother different area because again, being sexy, being more sexy is now what sells. So being that way or even being that way on stage, you're giving off a fantasy to certain people because again, you have men and women now that are tapping into that lane where it comes to, hey, she's gonna be looking like this when I go see her. Oh, I got definitely got to go see this with all that ass. You understand what I'm saying? So it's when you tap into that, especially in the entertainment industry, it's going to generate dollars. That's the whole point of you dressing half naked. And me being as an artist, I remember coming up 17, 18 years old and taking pictures. It was always, and you have these perverted ass people that are in the industry. Oh, well, she needs to show a little bit more skin. Dude, I'm 17 years old, and y'all are making me look like I'm 20, 21, way past my age. Because again, this is what sells. You have these perverted ass men that buy music that wants to see a 17-year-old half naked. Why you think Britney Spears is the way that she is now? So there's a lot of different things that what people do like this. Like when people say that the industry has a dark side, that is believable, 100% believable, because again, you've changed the genre of hip hop to be sexually explicit.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I
And
mean?
and that's not good for the kids. Like, like we enjoyed music, and you know what, back in that time, 80s and 90s, the music was about the lyrics and things of that nature. You would be happy to go to the record store to buy the album just to read the lyrics and to see, to hear the art. Now it's like that's the streaming service, and then trying to, like Jermaine was saying about the album sales. I don't know how people are going to make money off of this. This is really just a deterrent from what hip hop really is supposed to be about. I think it's just terrible. It's not good for the industry. I don't know how it's gonna do it be good for anybody. Like I said, it's not good for the kids. It's not even good for the artists, because think about these ladies getting all these BBLs and changing their bodies and things of that nature, and they're not really making all that money like they used to. Like you said, I mean, the streaming business is not like selling albums. You actually have to go on tour, and people have to actually buy your album, or they have to want to see you live in person. So I don't know how they're making money.
Yeah, and I think album sales, I think that's in the trash right now because the streaming services are killing that where people are really actually purchasing albums. You can go to Walmart right now and purchase an album. Um, and that is like a lot of people are collecting vinyl, but those types of sales, actually purchasing or downloading, those are low right now. They're not even where they used to be back in the day, because remember back in the day you could go to a Sam Goody store, you could go to Best Buy, and I remember going in and putting the headphones on and listening to albums before I buy it, you know. And buying a 9.99, 13.99 album was the thing back in the 80s, 90s, and then early
Yeah.
2000s, to be able to buy to purchase records. And I remember as a little girl in the 80s going to the record store and getting a tape or getting an album with my mom because that's what we did.
Mhm,
I remember
mhm,
the 45s.
mhm.
I remember those. And I remember of you literally, that's how you heard music. That's how you felt music, by just hearing that vinyl.
Right.
So in the lyrics back then in the 80s, they were talking about realistic stuff. You had your raunchy stuff here and there, but it wasn't like it is right now. Like you knew what they were talking about, but it was so coded to where it was like you really really had to listen to it in order for you to be like, oh, I know what she's talking about. It wasn't
Hmm.
like all the way out there on the table like it is now.
Yeah. Well, I think that what I was thinking about, how did it transform, now with the BBL situation, I don't know if these guys got into the girls, the new artists head, telling them that they had to do all this stuff to their bodies in order to sell records. Now we're going from dressing provocative. Now they want you to actually transform your body. So with that being said, what do you think about that? Them actually have to transform their bodies.
Well, I do know with Nicki Minaj that was the case. Because when Nicki first started, Nicki was very grimy. She was very her body wasn't like it was like now. She was very straight. And for her to be
Hmm.
Hispanic, most of them have curves, but she was very straight. She didn't have a big butt, she didn't have hips, all of that. So from my
Wait.
understanding,
Who's
You
you
meant
said who?
Cardi B. You meant Cardi B.
no, no, no,
Right,
Nick,
right,
Nicki,
right.
Nick, yeah, I mean Nicki,
Cardi B
but
is
if you
Hispanic.
Cardi B is Hispanic, Nicki Minaj is Jamaican. Sorry,
Nikki is
so
West Indian. She's from the
West
island.
Indian, right? So Nicki was very
Right, yeah.
straight. So Nicki was very straight. She didn't have hips. She didn't have big butt. None of that, right? So with that being said, when she first joined Young Money, when she joined, Lil Wayne, she had to change her whole image. They got her whole body done, her teeth fixed. They got big boobs. They got, her hips, her BBL or whatever done as well for her to be marketable. But she was already blowing up on YouTube. She was already blowing up with covers and freestyles that she was doing. But in order to make her that international star, she had to be the Barbie doll. And I think that is why she was flying with it of saying, hey, the Barb's, this, that, and the third, because she is really a Barbie doll because they made her.
So is
So
this the direction of so is this the direction of women or men? Because this sounds like this is men. This is the men is driving this. I don't know.
the men is driving it and the women are basically believing it because when somebody puts something in your mind and saying this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, you have weak-minded individuals that are not really secure within themselves and gonna do it, especially hungry
Wait.
artists, girls that really want to be out there, they will do that.
So should we call them weak minded? Should they be labeled as weak minded or just someone following their dreams?
Well,
It can be a
Anybody can answer
combination of
that?
both, I think. Yeah, I mean it's following your dreams, but then that's also not being true to yourself, being your authentic self either. Like, a lot of them will say, "Hey, I'm following my dreams. I'm doing what I want to do and I have all this money." But are you really happy? Are you really happy? Are you being true to yourself? You just had Megan Thee Stallion just broke down on at a nationwide concert because of the stuff, the scrutiny that she's going through right now. And she has a natural body, so we know. But she's breaking down because at the end of the day, yeah, you following your dreams, but all these people tearing your ass down because of you not being true to who you are.
And how is that she's not being true to who she is?
Because
I
it's
mean,
like
what?
those to me it's like if that's just like any person, like when you become famous, and therefore it's like you have these people who know you and where you come from, and they know who you are, they know the type of person that you are. I mean, people change every day, but soon as you got these people that are putting out things, truth about you. And it's the same thing, like, I mean, it was some stuff that came out yesterday about Jaguar Wright and a whole bunch of other people of who they were before they became these, this pop sensation. So at the same time, like, you got people that are coming out and saying like, look, this is not who she is. But the industry will do that. The industry will change and put on a perception. Again, it's a persona. It's like you being two different people. You got to be one person for the public, and then you got to try to be your authentic self behind closed doors. You got to be
Hmm.
two
So
different personalities.
who can we actually say is being true to themselves? What artists can we actually say is true to themselves?
Well, I can tell you one. I can tell you a group that's been true to themselves, and that's SWV. They will not change. They're not going into this hypersexuality situation here. I mean, they will not. I can tell you from the way that they're dressing and the way they present, they're not with the hypersexuality stuff. They're not getting ready to be doing all these transformations and stuff like that, doing
I
these
agree.
changes to their bodies and things like that, because they can sing from. They are truly true artists. You know what I mean? It's only in the hip hop. For some reason, it's only the rap girls that's going through this issue. Because I don't see the R&B girls going through this. Only
And
one,
to go,
like you said, Little Mo. I don't know why Little Mo is changing herself to do this, but for the most part, the R&B girls are staying consistent. But the hip hop girls, all of them is on these BBLs and stuff. I don't know what's going on with that, and I'm thinking that's male driven. All the guys are doing that to them or making them do that. I don't know if they have who their stylists are or who's doing their wardrobes or making them believe they need to go get all this stuff done. But it's only in the hip hop.
and as I said before, I don't think it's so much of the males making them do it. I mean, it's probably an influence, but like I said, women pay attention to other women. And if her body is right and it's getting attention from the men, then I need to get my body right so I can also get that same attention from the men. So women pay attention to other women and
That is
to make
true.
the
That is
decision
true.
to make to make the decision that I might I need to change my hair blonde because she got her hair blonde, or get my boobs big, because they see that it attracts men, and really doesn't, because men could care less of what you got on or how you change your body. Real men like real women.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, women are doing it for other women, and that's just my belief. That is, because you could go to a club or you could go anywhere, and if you looking good, who the first person that sees you and catch up, that you catch their eye and they already, not undressing you, but they're looking at you, checking you out, and whatnot. It's women. Men look
That is
at you,
true.
they look at the face, and then when you walk by, they look at the ass. Other than
That
that,
is true.
women, women are checking, checking out your fit. They trying to look at your fit, looking at your body, looking
Sizing
at
you
your
up.
hair, looking at everything.
Sizing you
And
up. Sizing you up.
yeah, they're sizing you up. So now I know I need what I need to do. So when I come back into the same situation or come back to the same club, now I'm looking the same way. Or in my mind, I'm looking better than you. And that's
Yep,
where
you're
it
right.
comes from. And then the men come in and make it a competition or make you kind of compete with each other. So boom. You see how sexy red look? Now this artist over here. Now you got a little bit way better than her. And she already saw that from the beginning. But now I got that male influence in my ear to make me really say, you know what, you're right. I got a little better than her. I gotta go and get more breasts, get the BBL and whatnot. So I got a little bit, like what Cardi B. She really didn't need none of that stuff. She'd have got something in her lips, all kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
that's for all the other girls. I don't know, like you said, Megan. I don't know, but all the other female rappers who are getting it. And then too, if your man is checking out all these strippers who got it, that's why Cardi probably ain't got it. So it's not
Yeah.
so much. I'm not gonna say it's so much of just the men, but it's women paying attention to other women. So it's more of a competition with other women, and they just feed
But you
into
said,
it. The men and they that
but Sweet Tea, you were saying that Cardi did this a long time ago when she was working in the strip clubs, though, right? That's when
She
she started
did.
doing all.
Yeah. That's when she started. And she don't even know what's in her butt. Like she doesn't really know what's in her butt. That she had something done out on black market. Somebody was doing the injections black market. And Cardi B is to me, and this is my opinion, that she's a very weak minded individual. She is she's influenced a lot by what other people say instead of her being true to who she is. Like she's always fussing with somebody on social media about what somebody's saying about her. And it gets to a point where she's just like not able to kind of make decisions for herself. It's more where, okay, I'm gonna do what the people want me to do. And it came out a couple months ago where it was stated that nobody in the industry wanted to do a song with her. Like everything
Mhm.
came through, her marriage, to her husband. So nobody really wanted to deal with her like that because they didn't believe in her talent, you know? And honestly, most of some of the rappers that are out now were ex strippers. A lot of them were ex strippers. A lot of them, were females that came from the strip club. But
So
but
right.
here's
that's
the
why.
thing. But here's the thing. EVE was from the strip club, but EVE had a different type of flow. You know,
Mm.
Eve came in and did her thing, and she got her money, and she bounced. She went into something else, acting and being a businesswoman. So
But her
it's
music,
a
and like you said, the music was a little different. So it wasn't like
Yeah,
yes.
she
it
was
was
talking about.
different. And
Yeah,
you know what? And that's what I'm saying. She had to. We really was listening to the lyrics. She came out hard. These new
Did
girls, that music they're playing now. I mean, the music that they're talking about, things they're talking about now. We're not interested in that. I mean,
no,
so
not at
so
all.
so are we saying? So are we gonna say Little Kim started? Or are we saying um it started in the 80s with Sky Luke, no, Luke Skywalker,
I
with
think it
Uncle
started
Luke.
with Luke Skywalker. I really do. I think it
well,
started there, and I think it transcended when um Big kind of transformed Lil Kim because mind you, before Lil Kim, we didn't have that. We had a taste of it with Salt and Pepper, JJ Fad. We had a
Nah,
taste of it.
not salt and pepper. No, no,
oh,
Yes, you
so
did.
let's
Yes,
go.
yes,
Let's go
you had
no,
a
back.
taste of it.
no, no. We can't say that. No. What? And their music? They was
Not in their music. I'm talking about dress wise, clothing
no,
wise. Where
no. Let's go back and look at it. It
yes,
still looked
because
good. It wasn't.
I mean, look, listen,
No,
when I say a taste of it, what I mean is that you had the bodysuits, the hips, you had, the booties, all different types of stuff. You had that. Now, when you're taking it to another level, is what I'm saying is Lil Kim took it to another level while showing more skin. Like you got to
that
call a
ain't
spade a
no
spade
skin.
now. You gotta call
No,
it what
no,
it is. You gotta call it what it is because
no.
again, sex sells. And trust me, if you've seen the story, that's what they said. Sex sells. So therefore they
Right.
had to be sexy. So the bodysuits, the heels, this, that, and the
That's
third, that has a
classified as
lot to
being
play with
sexy.
sexuality. That's sexy.
Nah,
That's
nah,
that's just that's
nah.
dressing sexy.
It's sexy, but it's not. It's still. I cannot put
It's it
them.
look,
I
it
cannot put
may
into the fact that you said it was a taste of it. No,
it
not at all.
was. It was because
Only
that's
thing
that's
it
that's
showed was a
sexual.
little bit of stomach. They had a little bit of stomach.
Okay, and like I said, you have to call
No,
a spade a spade. That's not being that again. That's not being raunchy, but again, it's to the point where it's sexy. Men are looking at it. So
nah.
so
Okay,
with
I
so
disagree. But go ahead.
so with that
so
being
what I was
said,
gonna
it's
say
like
is,
that was a taste of it.
mhm. So to me,
Yeah,
I felt like
whatever.
little Kim, like I said, she was the first female rapper with the raunchy, I mean the explicit lyrics. So I guess she had to live up to the lyrics. So being that Puffy was bad, she was with Bad Boy. So I guess he was going to make sure she transformed from the typical everyday girl. She wasn't going to be like the other MCs or the other rappers prior to her. So she had to come vulgar. So I guess that's when they started with that vulgar, hypersexual look, because Kim was the first one with that. Now you can go down
right.
south and talk about that Miami bass music, but they still was not hypersexual like Kim was, because Trina wasn't even as hypersexual as Kim was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That Miami
You
bass was,
had
yeah,
Kaya. You had
well,
Kaya.
no, what I'm saying, we're talking about dress wise. I'm talking about dress wise, because when you think about
Okay.
Miami bass music was about shaking your butt. Even the guys were shaking their butts. So it wasn't, it's a form of dancing. That Miami bass was all about a form of dancing. Matter of fact, it's still like that to this day. It had
Right.
nothing to do with hypersexuality. Little Kim is the one who started that hypersexuality, because she's the first one that came to the MTV Music Awards with her breasts out, with a pasty on top of the breast. Then she started getting the body things done. So she was the
Right.
first female rapper who was truly, they really hypersexualized her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
They did.
Her
They
dress,
did.
I'm talking about from the head to the toe. If
Mm-hmm.
you even go to the Miami bass, if you go back to Miami bass, Trina was not, like I said, Trina wasn't even as sexual as Little Kim. Nobody was, period.
Right.
So so I'm just gonna say it all started with Little Kim to me. I just my opinion. I could be wrong, but it all started with Little Kim. From her, after Little Kim, then we got, because like you said, Eve wasn't even hypersexual like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
she wasn't. She
She
wasn't.
wasn't. So then you got Eve. After Little Kim, you had Eve. Then you had like you
Foxy
said,
Brown. Foxy
Foxy
Brown was in
Brown
the
was it.
same. Yeah. Foxy
Yeah,
Brown was.
nobody was like Little Kim. They dressed her purposely. They did her with the logos. She did a bunch of high end labels and stuff. She was a label whore, and then she was butt naked pretty much. They wanted her pretty
Pretty
much butt
much.
naked. Then they made her start looking like a stripper. She had to go
Yep.
get the BBL. They must have made her feel insecure some kind of way, or they must have told her she wasn't pretty as she was, because obviously it bothered her, because she truly has transformed her whole body. And she, you know what I'm saying, she can't go back. I mean, she can't see herself any other way except with the plastic surgery and stuff like that. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She's the first female rapper that truly transformed her whole body.
Yeah. In an interview, she said that um every man that she's ever dated, they wanted a light skinned female. So
Oh
she
my
felt
God.
that if so that she wasn't pretty enough. So she has always felt that she was always, I guess, like the bottom of the barrel. Like nobody wanted her unless she had this. So she went and got her teeth done. Nobody didn't wanted her if she didn't have bigger breasts. So she went and did that. So she changed her nose because she wanted to look like most of the prettier girls that they had, the nose job. Then she started, the high cheekbones. Then she went to bleaching her skin. So she went from being a beautiful darker skinned girl to now trying to have this high, I say high yellow, or even almost near clear white skin complexion.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So then again, so there again, that must be coming from the strip clubs. I can only equate that to coming from the strip clubs, going the guys going to the strip clubs, girls taking them girls to the strip clubs, and then making them transform their bodies into the stripper like look.
Yeah.
Um, Brooklyn, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. So do you agree what I was saying about Little Kim? She was the first one.
Yeah, because I can't put salt and pepper in there. So yeah, she definitely was the first one. As far as I know. Um, I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, I
Cause,
can't think. I was
cause
trying to think of
she
somebody else.
she was the only one out at that time that, yeah, because she came out what in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah. That's the only person I could think of.
And then she was the only girl on the Bad Boy label. The only and then Foxy Brown was on who was Foxy Brown with?
She was with Jay-Z, so she was with
She was with Def
her.
Jam.
She was with Def Jam, but wasn't she on Jay-Z label? Tell what was their label name? Oh,
Rockefeller Records.
right, when she with
Oh,
Rockefeller,
Rockefeller.
or
Yeah.
no, she, or
No,
she
she
was
wasn't
just
with Rockefeller. She was with Def Jam. She was with Ali Def
okay.
Jam.
She was dressing sexy too.
Yeah, she was. She was. But when you look to
Yeah.
even like when you listen to her lyrics, like her lyrics was, yeah, it was talking about sex, but it wasn't to the point where it was like Lil Kim type stuff, you know? Like Lil Kim was talking about deep throating. She was talking about all
She was
kinds of different
talking.
types of stuff, you know?
She was talking
So
about stuff you couldn't listen to in the house. You know what I mean?
right. So, it's like Foxy was talking about, you know, trying to get you home and trying to get that money, that type of stuff. And even it was a difference between Foxy and Lil Kim. Like I mean, yeah, Foxy dressed sexy and she was like half naked too, but Lil Kim took it all the way there,
She
from
took it all the
lyrics
way.
to dressing. Yeah.
Yeah, the
So,
album cover, everything. Yeah.
The
so
album cover that every hip hop artist in the 2000s tried to recreate, because it's the
emulate.
same thing.
Yeah.
Emulate. Nicki Minaj tried it, and they had a beef for years because you take something from somebody but don't acknowledge or respect the person that came before you.
Hmm.
Mhm. So, do we think that with Little Kim, when she look in the mirror every day, do you think? Because personally, when she first came out, I didn't see a problem with her. I mean, she looks good. But now, do you think she really realized that she had messed up somewhere? Or no?
I think it's a psychological thing because, mind you, that's the same thing with Tammy Roman, because it's a psychological thing. Most people who have those type of personality disorders, where it's like, hey, you're thinking to you, you're telling the person, well, to them it's like they're beautiful from what they see every day, because this is the personality or what they're trying to go for. But when you're telling them certain things, that's only going to drive them further to butcher themselves even more,
So
because by
that's
you
like body
complimenting.
dysmorphia.
Right, exactly. So it's more
Hmm.
like when you are telling them, hey, that doesn't look good, this, that, and third. And to them, they're like, oh, well, they're saying it doesn't look good, so it looks good to me. So I can do more. I can have more injections, or I can, my breast size is not the way I need it to be. I can go, reconstruct it a little bit more, inch in my waist a little bit more. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And look, Kim's body doesn't even look that way because she had a baby, she gained weight, and it doesn't even look right. She looks like a plastic. I don't
Right,
even think she can
leprechaun.
I don't even think she can move her face. She can't even move her lips at all when she talks.
Yeah, because I'm thinking she can't take that back. I think there's nothing she can do. I think she have to keep going because once you get so far into that stuff, I don't see how she could. I don't know how she could get rid of all that stuff. That would be difficult. I think that would be.
Well, K Michelle did it. K Michelle did. She took out all of it out of her. So why
Yeah,
did
Yeah, she
Black
had to
she
have
can't
Black
take it?
China,
reconstructive
Black China
surgery.
did too. Black China did too, and she looks good.
She
But
does.
she really does. But I'm thinking Kim did a lot to her face though. I don't know how she's gonna
She
recreate
can't
her
take that
face.
back from her face. K
Yeah.
Michelle did a couple. She gets fillers in her face. Um, but K Michelle did take her implants out of her butt out, and her hips and all the other stuff. Like, she's always had hips, but when it came to her butt and everything, it was like you could tell, like when she took everything out, like you could tell it. But she's had
Because she
reconstructive
had no butt now.
surgeries. Yeah, but she's had reconstructive surgeries after she took the implants out to kind of help her, because she couldn't walk at one point.
Yeah.
Like that stuff was seeping into her system, and that's the same thing I think what happened to Toni Braxton when she had breast implants. One of her implants burst. So, and she
Oh.
had, and the same thing, she had her nose done too because she didn't
Mm-hmm.
like the nose that God gave her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's with
So,
Michael
so
Jackson. Like if we take it there with body
yeah.
dysmorphia, it's the same thing with Michael Jackson. Even though Michael Jackson had a skin condition, at the same time he was not comfortable with who he was.
Well, I think after Michael Jackson had that situation where he had the fire situation at the
Pepsi.
when he was doing the commercial and he had the got did the burn when they burned he had that burn.
Mhm.
I think he just wasn't the same after that, and I think he probably looked at his face. He probably couldn't see himself again in his. You know what I'm saying? So he probably
Mhm.
had to keep doing type all kinds of surgeries to try to correct the wrong, and he couldn't correct it.
Right.
But at this point, how does this? Okay, so with this, now that we've discovered all these girls with all this hypersexuality, where does the road end here? Because if these girls was to take all that stuff back like China did, guys really tell you that they want a natural body, but at the end of the day, they don't want a natural body. I think that's a lie. You can sit up and take all the stuff off of your body and all this other stuff, but then you're gonna still feel a little insecure because they're gonna still be wanting a big butt here or some boobs here and all this other stuff. I think men are driving these women to this.
Well, yeah, maybe industry guys, but
Yeah,
um,
industry guys. Yeah.
regular average men, because you got to think about it. You got women who work at Walmart is getting BBLs, and
Yep.
for who? And for who?
Yep.
Because all you
They
gonna do
sure
is
are.
talk to a dude from the plant, and so I don't see your purpose of doing that. So
No.
if you're in this industry, if you're doing that for the purpose to go into the industry, I get it.
I'm gonna tell
But
you how they doing
you
it too.
you
I can
you
tell you
just
how they
got
doing it.
average. You just got average women, just every day. Working women are doing BBLs to
Yes.
get average working men.
They getting these
Or
Navy Federal credit cards and going and getting them
Is that
BBLs.
what they're
I'm trying to
doing?
tell you, that's what they doing. That's exactly what they doing. Cause Navy, listen, Navy Federal, it's on YouTube, and I know somebody that got a $25,000 Navy Federal card and went and got her plastic surgery done.
and she's the ordinary woman that live
Yep.
in an ordinary community and go
Yep.
get an ordinary guy. And
Yep.
the purpose is for what? So
I don't know how we
men,
got to this. I'm just trying to figure out how we got to this because a natural body to me, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think you got your
I
natural
mean,
body. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, men, true men want that, but you got to think about men in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, with the white women and and the
They even
perfect
got big
body and
boobs now.
everything. You know, they that's something you're supposed to have in the industry because you're
But
in
in
the
the
industry.
industry,
If they have a
I remember
choice,
a flat ass was the thing. I remember a flat ass and tights was the thing. That's all you would see
right?
in the
Because they didn't
videos
want
back
too
then.
much black booty, right?
Like having
So
no ass was a thing. Having an ass was a bad thing. You
Yes,
know?
I remember that too because I thought the guys up north was more into
here
girls
we
who
go.
had the natural aesthetics and who was athletic built, more of a natural athletic, like who go to the gym and who took care of their body. I thought they was more into a woman who took care of her body and more as like a gym girl as opposed to a big old thick girl. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a down south thing. So yeah. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. Yeah, so I was thinking I'm trying to see where they're gonna go with this because as far as album sales and things like that, I think there's
I
an
got, I want to
I would
interject.
say
I got
there's
something. I
okay,
got something to
okay.
say about when you said about New York guys. New York guys, they prefer women with big butts and thickness. It's not more it's not more or less of
And that is
athletic.
the truth. And that is the
It-
truth.
thickness
That
and
is the truth. Yes.
yes, yes, it wasn't
They
no
like
athletic.
thickness. They
They
do.
like
They like
thickness
thickness.
and
They
butt
They
do.
like
and girls with
thickness.
butts.
Okay.
That
So
and that is the truth. That is the
you're
truth.
right. So no, what you're saying, athletic, no. They just
No.
uh,
Okay.
growing up
They don't care.
there.
Trust me. If you
Yeah,
got
that's what New York got. Now, I'm
yeah,
gonna say
cause
this. I'm gonna say the guys from back then, 80s, 90s, back then. I don't know what the young people like now, but
same
then
thing. Same
back
thing.
then they like thickness and they like girls with big butts. And when
Yeah.
I say big butts, I don't mean like oh big outrageous ass.
No.
I'm talking
Right.
about with a shape and everything with a butt.
Right. Right.
So
And that is so true. That is so
yeah,
true.
so
Small waist, big hips.
and
Yep.
if it got to
Yeah.
be a walk for small waist, when I think of girls back then and me growing up, and you, it, as we always talk about Chrissy, this
Yeah.
girl Rika, all them type of girls, those are girls that the guys had like back then, and the drug dealers were the celebrities back then, so they
Yeah.
like girls like that. I
Right.
just
Yeah.
give
Because
an example of Chrissy because Chrissy
yeah,
was back then,
Chrissy is
and
truly
she was
body goals.
right,
Yeah.
and she was one
She's
of the
natural
fly
body
girls from
goals.
back then, right?
Yeah.
So those are the guys that the big time drug dealers because they were on celebrity status back then. Those were the celebrities back then before
Mm-hmm.
celebrities were celebrities, the black
Mm-hmm.
ones, but they was
Mm-hmm.
they was rocking with girls like that. So
Mm-hmm.
now when we go to the South, I don't know what was what. Maybe they was looking for the flat booties then.
No, they was looking for. They was thick. They was thick girls. Now, believe me, all the girls down south was thick anyway. Cornbread fed.
Were they thick? Were they thick or were they big?
They were
It's two
they were
difference.
big, thick. They
That
were
Okay.
huge,
cornbread
big,
fed. That's
huge.
big now. Cause after they start having babies, it get out of hand now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
but
So
but I mean, of what you're saying, I do believe that, and I know this to be true because I have family members that are New York guys, and that's what they like. They like, the shape and the booty and all kind of stuff. That's what they like.
Yeah. Well, I just hope this industry. I guess this now that it's like this, I don't think they can go back to that. I don't see how they're going to change it back to the way it used to be with the natural bodies and things of that nature. I think it's going to be BBLs or else.
well, it
Um,
is what it is. And it's not just the industry, it's just out here in the
and the
regular
regular, yeah, not regular
yeah,
people just thinking they got to have BBLs too.
they gotta have BBLs. Like why? And you got people like they 50 trying to get a BBL. Like, go sit down somewhere. Why? Why? Why you need a BBL? You know what I'm saying? You're 50, about to be 60. Uh, if you got it, dude, regardless of the fact if you get it or not, if he gonna be with you, he gonna be with you.
Right.
You can fix yourself up however you want to. He's still probably gonna go out there with that young chick. You know what I'm saying? He's still gonna go with that young chick. You can still fix your body up. It still ain't gonna look like that 20-year-old or 30-year-old over here. So I
Mm-hmm.
just don't see the purpose of it unless now I don't see the purpose of it. I can't I don't understand, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep. So,
so
well, this was a good topic. Um, yep. So I guess that we can say that hypersexuality in hip hop is going to stay. It's not going anywhere. I still feel like that sexy red has a hidden agenda. I don't know what it is. Something about that. It's a distraction. It's hypersexuality. And I think it's bad for the kids. It's not good for our children.
Right.
Uh,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree because When you see the YouTube, the not the YouTube, but the TikTok video, of the little girl singing the song "Shake That Ass for Me,"
Yes.
that lets you know that our youth are looking at these new hip hop artists as role models, especially when you have a child who is going on stage and saying, "I want to be pregnant." That lets you know that a lot of influence of what you see that some of these hip hop artists are putting out into the masses for our children to see, which is not a good thing.
And then you know
Well,
what? Like when Scarlett, what's her name? Scarlett. I like her, but they're not. She got to be. She can't. I can't even see her being hypersexual. You know
well,
what
they're
I'm
not
saying?
gonna make her hypersexual because in reality and how they look at her, she's a dark skinned girl, and then she's not that very attractive.
Right.
So they're
They're not
not
gonna
gonna
promote
do that.
her.
They ain't
They're
gonna
not gonna
promote her.
promote her. And that's been
But
going
she's
on in
real
the
hip
industry
hop
for
though.
years.
I like it. I love her music, but that she's not sexy
She's not
to
sexy
the
enough.
masses.
Right.
So that's it for her. Unless she come back out and got a little plastic surgery and did something and whatever, then make her look sexy, then they'll probably push her. But right now, she got two things against her. And that's how society look at it, not only just in the industry, but out
But in
here in the
general,
community. Yeah, in general. That's how they look
But
yeah.
at
what
it.
about? So what about Remy Ma?
Rick Mama, I mean, we can't eat. She's on a whole nother level
Yeah,
now.
she's
She's
on a whole
trying to
nother
rap.
level now, but she's
She's
fading off.
yeah.
She's been faded out
And why
years
is she?
ago.
And why is she fading off?
Because when she went to prison, when she went to jail, that was it. Because when she went to prison, she was at the height of her game, right?
Right.
So she kind of elevated a little bit when she came back and she was on the reality TV series. So with that being said, that was an avenue for her to like. She was in movies when she played Big 50. She's a great actress. That's where she should stick to now of moving in that direction because honestly, her time has passed a little bit because she's lost weight. Her marriage is in shambles now. So it's like she's literally trying to get back into that lane of where she was. But again, I feel that she needs to go into the area that is really generating money for her. And hip hop right now just is not it. I
I,
do think I think that she is trying to make a comeback, but it's hard because her lyrics don't talk about what they're talking about right now. She's more hardcore. She's like a Scarlet where she's talking about real shit that goes on every day.
That's what I was gonna
And
pair. That's why I thought of
yeah,
her. Yeah.
that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to talk about shaking their ass and all kinds of stuff, and that's not Remy.
And
That's
that's
not who
not their
she
that
is.
that's not her aesthetic. So with that
but
being said, what about Scarlett? So Scarlett may be marketable in the acting. Maybe she should go in that avenue, go that
Tubi,
route.
Tubi.
Tubi, Tubi, Tu. I mean, Tubi killing it right now. They got some movies on Tubi, so Tubi is
Yeah,
killing
because
it right now.
when I tell you I like Scarlett, I love her. I think I just can't. I just don't know how she would fit into these girls going on right now. But goodness gracious, that would be good if she could go into acting, just
Yeah.
like you said with the Remy Ma. Because all these other girls with these BBLs, I don't know what else they're going to be able to do outside of
That
be doing
trust me, all
this,
that's gonna fade, and
and
I
they're not going
see
to
it
be able to do
coming.
anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that's gonna fade because nobody has Beyonce and Jay-Z money. Okay. And a lot of that
right,
stuff, some of these people are worth 25-30 million dollars, right? But
right.
that's not a lifetime of money because you gotta live off that and you gotta have some type of investments. If you don't got any type of investments, then it is what it is. Like they always say now, get in the industry, get what you can get and bounce. Because it's not that industry no more is longevity like it used to be where you getting all these revenues. And now it's they're even decreasing the percentage that an artist receives from streaming. So you're not really making any money unless you really out there on the road and doing it like you got to tour. That's why you see all these older artists touring until they're 80 years old because they got to consistently make money because they're not making any money from sales.
Right. That's what I was saying about That's what I was saying. There's nowhere there. Nobody's making any money unless you out there in the public, doing tours. And somebody wanting to come see you, or somebody wanting to buy your actual album, and that's not
Right.
happening. So
Right.
I mean, the
But
quality of music
but
is not.
I want to go back to Remy Ma
Uh
and the
huh.
reason why her career kind of faded away. It's not only just what she was saying, T, but also the fact that Papoose, whatever, he wanted
Yeah.
a kid, and she didn't want that kid. So that kind of destroyed the relationship. When she came out, she had opportunities, but right after the TV show, I think she got pregnant and whatnot,
Right.
and everything kind of faded away for her. And I think
Mistake.
that was a big cause too that kind of made her career kind of fade away too. Because if I'm just coming out of jail and I want to get back into the game and I'm still kind of fresh, then my husband want a baby. I'm like, I ain't got time to sit around to do this and do that and raise a baby and do all this when I done lost a couple of years. I'm trying to get back in it to get it.
Yep.
And
Yep. I
I don't
agree.
want to just depend on you because I
Yep.
was getting it before I got with you. So
Yep.
she got the baby, and that's when everything kind of went down here. She loved her daughter, but in reality, she ain't want no more kids. She really wanted to, get her career and take it to a whole nother level. But right now, for her, she she came back, she would have to come back in an essence of the Sexy Reds throwing them on the record with her to get the clout. Because we got like MC Light just came back out with a song. I love it. But the young generation ain't feeling it. She would have to put a Megan on there for the pop, for them to the young people to come, because those are ones that's spending the money and doing the streaming. So she would need somebody like Megan to come on there, or Glorilla, or somebody like that to really make it pop. Because it's already faded now.
But
It's
why
with
she
some
can't
women.
go? But why she can't go the R&B route instead of going get another female rapper? Why she can't just put an R&B hook on there? You know how they used to
She
make
do
all the
have
R&B.
one. She do
Oh, she
have.
do.
I think she has um Life Jennings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got her on it, and then she got a couple of old school rappers. I can't remember who she got on it. Was it Kane? Somebody on there. But if she wanted to go over there to with the young people and really flourish with it, she would have to put one of them on there, because that's all who listening to Megan is that 20, 30 and under, 40 and under. So if you want to make the money, that's the whole thing about it. If you want to make money, you got to conform to what's out now. Other than that, she's just doing it just to do it, just to put something out for the older generation to
Yeah.
have, to make it different, and stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Hmm. Well, oh, I guess that's where it's at. But yeah, I used to love Remy Ma too. I was hoping she could get back in there. And I guess Eve is not trying to come back at all. She ain't trying to do that.
She's got a
Oh,
billionaire husband. I wouldn't come
yep,
back neither.
Yep,
yep.
she got a billionaire husband. She ain't gotta do that. She ain't gotta do none of that.
Mhm.
And if she come back, it's just for the love. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
just
just for the
for the
love of
love
the
of
music.
hip hop, and she could just do her old stuff. She don't even have to come out with nothing new. Tell you the truth, so
That's crazy. She ain't even torn. She
she don't
ain't
have
even
to.
torn. She don't
Look,
have to, but
she don't have
but
to.
I mean,
It would
I
be nice for
would.
it would be good for the culture if she would have went to the. I'm surprised she didn't go to the Roots picnic because that would have been nice. Uh, if she would have went to the Roots picnic,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, all right.
We
That
can
was
end it now.
yeah. We can end it now. That was good.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all on the next Uncensored Truth podcast. I'm your girl, Sweet
All
Tea.
right. All right. And I'm your girl, K Jax.
Brooklyn.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.